Welcome to the Dice Tower, a video cast all about the world of board games and the people who play them. This is the 2010 edition of our annual Top 100 Board Games of All Time, featuring the Vasel family.
Welcome back to another episode where we talk about 5 more games. We're going to go into the 80s now, so the games are just getting better and better. I can't think of anything else cool to say, so let's look at the games.
Number 90, Catch the Match.
Catch the Match is a game that comes with just a few cards, and each of these cards shows multiple toys and different colors on them. But every 2 card has an exact match. So when you play, you simply turn over a card. Players look as quickly as they can, and the first player to find the exact match in colors is the winner of that card. And I'm still not finding it on this one. Are you faster than me? No, not the car. It's the hat, says Melody. See, I was fooled by the card, but the colors are backwards there. And so that's basically the whole game.
I like this game because you're quickly trying to find the match before the other person. And it is confusing at times because the colors might be the opposite, and that's why I like the game. Number 90, Hamburger. I didn't say that. I thought you said hamburger.
Alright, if you look at me and look at this guy here, I can see I'm probably the uglier one, but he's definitely the more boring one. But this game, Hamburger, is a lot of fun anyway. Inside the box, there is just a treasure trove of building pieces. You can see here, there's little pieces of wood, there's brick, and you're building these big churches. There's even little bells that can be used to build the churches. And that's what this game's about. It's about building churches and getting and buying and using the resources to do so. This could be your typical boring Euro game, but it's one that I like quite a bit because it's fun to do all this. All the mechanics were fun and simple, and you did 1 action per turn. Building churches, which, okay, I said that quite a few times. I just like this game. It plays a lot better than it looks.
Number 89, Ringo Flamingo.
Ringo Flamingo, here you can see the box, has these flamingos and alligators out of it, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to get rings around the flamingos, but not around the alligators. And you do that by using a little boat in which you can pull the rings back and let them flip. So players are doing this at the same time, trying to get the rings onto the... I'm flipping them too hard. Trying to get the rings on top of the flamingo. Whoa, look at that shot. Yes, who is the master of Ringo Flamingo? Say it. Oh, yes.
Melody. I like this game because you're trying not to fling the discs onto the alligators, but onto the flamingos, and I really like the way of how you flick the discs, and it's a lot of fun to play. Number 89, Quinnamin.
Quinnamin is a very simple game. On your turn, you are allowed to place a piece in any empty spot, or you're allowed to slide one of these blocks that come right off the board like this, or you're allowed to rotate one of the blocks. First person to get 5 in a row wins. And sometimes that could be as simple as moving. For example, if it's my turn and I do this, I've just won, and you can go straight or diagonally. This leads to some very interesting strategic play. I play with a variant where you're not allowed to put a piece on this one until you put a piece on all the other levels. But other than that, I mean, it's still a fantastic game. It can be played in 5 minutes. Once you get good at it, you may be taking 20 minutes or so to play it, but still very fast and yet offers a lot of strategic depth.
Number 88, Ink and Gold.
Ink and Gold is a game where you're trying to get the most gems, and you do that by each turn. Players are going to explore into a dungeon by turning over cards from that dungeon. Like here it shows 17 jewels. So you'll take 17 jewels and you'll split them up evenly among the players and leave the rest on the door here. And you'll continue to do that, splitting up the jewels, but you have to be careful because if you ever get 2 of the same disaster, see there's snakes here and here's rock slides, this is a treasure, spiders. If you ever get 2 of the same disaster, which isn't happening here, there's a double spiders, then everyone who's still inside dies, I guess, or is trapped, and they don't get to keep any of their gems. But after every card is turned over, Players have to decide, I'm going to run, no, I'm going to keep exploring, or I'm going to run. And if they do that, any jewels they've collected, they get to keep. So it's a straight push your luck game, but it goes up to 7 players, or 8 players I think. Fantastically fun. I've used this in many different situations.
I like this game because you're trying to collect treasure, and I like the tent and all of the types of treasure. I mostly like this game because I like the bad critters and stuff, and I just like that game. Number 88, Dragon's Gold.
I've always had a soft spot for the blue box games because they come in little blue boxes like this. But this one is easily my favorite of the lot. It's Dragon's Gold, and it's just a bag full of some small gems and a deck of cards and a little screen to hide your gems. And each turn, players are fighting a dragon. They turn over dragon cards and players attack the dragon. You're going to kill the dragons. But it's after the dragons are killed, anyone who was involved in killing that dragon has to make a deal for the gems in front of the dragon. And they have to make the deal right now. Dragon's Gold has been on my list since the beginning, and it's for very good reason. It's a very entertaining game, very fun negotiating. You have to make the deal now, not in the future, not in the past. Nothing else matters but right now. And that can lead to some very funny and interesting negotiations. A lot of fun. Dragon's Gold.
Number 87 is Ugly Doll.
In Ugly Doll, the cards are scattered all over the table, and players take turns turning over one card at a time. And you just keep going until eventually you're going to see 3 of the same doll. At that point,
Ugly, ugly, ugly.
you grab the cards, and if 2 people grab the same card at the same time, the first person who says ugly, ugly, ugly gets that card. That's it. It's a basically memory match with 3 and a bit of speed.
I like this game because you're flipping over cards to reveal creatures and slapping them to get them. And I really like it of how when 2 people get the same card, when they say ugly, 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 it just sounds funny. And I really like how the way the creatures look. Number 87, Carvin City.
Here's a first-time game for the list, and that's Carson City. Carson City is a Euro game in which you're putting down action pawns. We call it worker placement. A very fun, entertaining game, and many of these games have been made, but I like Carson City primarily because of its theme and how well the mechanics of the game tie into the theme. It plays very quickly. You're building buildings in this old west town. Sometimes you're fighting over the right to build these buildings. You can pretty much interact and fight with other players over everything. It includes rolling dice, although you can take that out if you're boring. This game really adds a lot, and there's a decent amount of variance already included in the box. So I have to say that this is easily one of my favorite games and quickly made my top 100 after playing it earlier this year.
Number 86, Sleepy Princess and the Pea.
The game starts with a bed frame and a pea put into the bed frame, and players will be putting a mattress on top of that, and then depending on what they roll and moving this figure around the board, it will tell you what to put on next as you put on a blanket and a pillow, and then another mattress on top of that, and then another blanket, then another pillow, then another mattress upon that, then another blanket, then another pillow, and then another mattress. I'm pretty good at this. Then another blanket, another pillow, and finally Sleepy Princess herself. Alright, well, you're supposed to do all that without making the thing fall over. And that's what this game is, basically. A dexterity game, but instead of using blocks, you're using little foam, cushy mattresses.
I like this game because you're stacking up the bed and you're also moving the princesses around the little track thing. I really like of how they made the mattresses and pillows, and I just like how to play this game. Number 86, Nuns on the Runs.
Nuns on the Run is one of those games that as soon as I played it, I knew it would make my top 100 list. If you've ever played Scotland Yard before, you know how this works. Except in this game, everybody is a nun on the run, and one player is the prioress and abbess who are chasing them down. On a really neat board that goes through the abbey, you can see a picture of it here in the back. You're running through the abbey, going on different paths, and keeping your movement hidden while the abbess and the prioress are marching around, and they can move in different spots depending on if they've heard you or if maybe they've even caught a glimpse of you. And so that's really an entertaining way to play. I found it great fun, especially in groups of 4 or 5, as everybody's running around and sometimes tipping someone off to the abyss off to someone else's position. Great fun. As soon as I played it, it would make my top 100, and I was right.
Tune into our next show for more Top 10 gaming goodness, or check out our website at www.thedicetower.com for more reviews and top 10 lists. Until next time, I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.